We just boarded our cruise, and already there is a scam happening on board. JJ Cruise. Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Jordan and this is JJ Cruise. Thank you so much for clicking into the video today. Well, today we're talking about scams on cruise ships. We have, of course, talked about a lot of different scams that happen to people that travel or people that cruise here on the channel, but typically those are always scams that happen to cruisers off ships and in port. Rarely do we see or hear about actual scams happening while on your cruise ship. What has happened here on this ship that we are currently on is so wrong that I felt like I needed to come forward and talk about this story to maybe help get some justice for this cruiser, but also find out if this has ever happened to anyone else, because I certainly have never heard of this happening before. Before I get into it, I do just want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. If you like cruise content, cruise stories, and information, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like videos like this, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Well, Jared and I just boarded the Jewel of the Seas for a Western Caribbean cruise. And this is only day 2 of the cruise, and already there is some drama happening on board. And like I said, this is drama that I absolutely think the cruiser is in the right, and the person on board that has scammed this person is completely in the wrong. The scam actually has to do with the shops on board. And I have a feeling this story is going to shock a lot of you because it has certainly shocked me. We're specifically talking about watches. Now, if you have been on a cruise before, you'll know that you can do a lot of shopping while on board. A lot of cruise destinations have tax-free or duty-free shopping, and watches are one of those pieces of jewelry that can be quite expensive. So people will buy things like watches and other types of jewelry while at sea on their cruise ship. There are typically a number of different types of watches you can buy, all the way from really cheap knockoff or fake looking watches up to very expensive designer or collector watches that people pay $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for, and you can buy on most cruise ships. One of the reasons that someone might want to buy a watch while at sea is because there are actual scams involving watch sales on land that happen quite frequently. One of the most popular ones that we know of is that jewelers can sometimes take links out of watches that might be very valuable and lessen the worth or the value of the watch at the point of sale. So let's say you have an extremely expensive watch and some of the links are either gold links or maybe there's diamonds in the links. The jeweler, maybe without you not knowing, may take all the expensive links out of the watch to resize it, and then when you're buying the watch, you suddenly have bought a watch that is worth way less than what the price is that you're paying. That is not the scam that we're talking about here. I actually think the scam that we're talking about is maybe even a little bit worse than that. But let me get into the story. So someone this morning posted in the Facebook group for this particular sailing that they went to the shops and they were looking at watches here on board to buy. The jeweler or the shop representative took links out of the watch to help it fit better on the customer's arm so that they could look at it and see what the watch would actually feel like. Well, after they had the watch on their wrist, they decided that they did not want the watch and they said that they weren't going to take it. At that point, the shop representative said, "I've already taken the links out of the watch. You have to buy this right now. You do not have a choice." When the cruiser pushed back, the shop representative said that they had an option to buy it or they were going to call ship security. To me, this is straight up bullying or stiff arming someone into buying something when they have no interest in actually buying it. The cruiser then said that they went to guest services and guest services were no help, and so now they were trying to figure out what to do. I was not very surprised that guest services were not willing to help this person because the shops and guest services are typically very separate departments. And if you have an issue with the shops, you need to talk to the shopping representative or the shopping manager on board to get any type of assistance. I don't know about you, but I am very familiar with the fact that they can take links in and out of watches. And they do this when you want to go and try a watch on and look at it and see if you want to purchase it, especially if this is a very expensive piece of jewelry. Those links can be put back into the watch very easily. So when I saw that this person was then forced to buy the watch because they tried it on, and allegedly it seems like this shop representative offered to resize it there for them so that they could see exactly what it would look like. I'm gonna put the post up here so you can read it. You might need to pause the video to read the entire thing, but this is basically just a summary of what I just gave you. My gut reaction is that this does not make me feel good about purchasing anything in Royal Caribbean shops. Now, of course, you know, Jared and I are big Royal Caribbean cruisers. We cruise Royal Caribbean, we cruise Celebrity quite a bit. But this would completely sour my cruise if I was forced or stiff-armed into buying something and I was told that I was going to get ship security called on me just because I went and looked at a piece of jewelry that I was potentially interested in buying. We have reached out to the poster to get updates and find out a little bit more information. And so here's what we're going to do. When we find out more information about this specific scam that has happened on board Jewel of the Seas, we will pin it in the comments below. So you can come back and regularly check this video to see what exactly happens next with this particular issue on board. Coming on a cruise is supposed to be stress-free, it's supposed to be relaxing, and it's supposed to kind of take your mind off of the difficulties or hardships back home. This would immediately stress me out if I was forced to buy a watch that I had no interest in buying. I want to ask all of you at home what you think of this scenario. Am I way off base here? Is this something that you've heard of happening before? I don't think this is normal, especially based on my times or my experiences looking at watches in shops both at land and at sea. But I'm curious to know if you've ever heard of anything like this happening or if you have had someone force you into buying something while on a cruise ship. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Well, that was it. We still have a lot of days ahead of us on this cruise, so we are gonna see where this goes from here. But thank you so much for watching. There's still a lot of Jewel of the Seas content coming about this ship. So again, if you are interested in cruising, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. My name is Jordan from JJ Cruise, and until next time, see ya.